Hello guys, welcome to the channel. This is your host, Middle-Aged Gamer. So in the last episode, we unboxed this device and had some first impression on how this device is hardware-wise. We did some size comparisons as well as some speaker and sound test and a little benchmarking for Cyberpunk. However, I quickly found out that the 1 terabyte this device comes bundled with is not going to be enough storage space for me because of my huge Steam library, and I also have the Xbox Game Pass. And with the game size is going through the roof nowadays, it's very difficult to carry around a device with a lot of games with 1 terabyte. So what we can do today is we can try to upgrade the storage on this. So we need to open this device up, and I did some research. This supports NVMe M2 2230 size of SSD. In the last iteration, Claw 7, the SSD, internal SSD was very hard to reach, and I think it was buried beneath the CPU fans. And I heard or read somewhere that it also involved removing thermal paste and reapplying before closing the device up with the updated storage. So that was not a user accessible thing from MSI. But with this iteration, MSI have seemed to listen to a lot of people and a lot of community feedback of what they didn't like on the first iteration of Claw 7, and they have listened to it. Let's find out together if that is the case with accessibility of replacing the hard disk with the user own without visiting their service center or something. So what we are going to do is, I have this Silicon Plus PCI Express Gen 4 by 4 2 terabyte hard disk. This is what I ordered from Amazon. I was actually looking for a bigger storage, larger storage than 2 terabyte. I was looking for a 4 terabyte version of the SSD, but it seems like in the size 2230, the highest you can get is 2 terabytes. At least that's what I found on Amazon locally. So I think 2 terabyte is better than 1 terabyte at least. So we will go with that. But before we do that, I think there are some other things that we should do that involves, cloning your disk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clone the internal SSD that MSI came up with, and that I have set it up already with the latest updates and few games. I don't want to do that over and over again. So what I'm going to do is we are going to turn this device on, and then we are going to put this in a SSD enclosure, M2 enclosure. This is the one I have, this PIBox Inspire. This is a really nice product from PIBox. It's an Indian brand. This is available on Amazon, and if you see, it has a NVMe slot, and then there is this rubberized, instead of a screw, this rubberized thing, so it supports all the lengths of NVMe SSDs, M2 SSDs, so it's nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put our new SSD in this one, and then connect it with this USB-C to the Thunderbolt port of the device, and clone the SSD. And then once that is cloned, we will open the device, replace the already bundled SSD with this new SSD that we have. So let's turn on the device. I have for now connected the device to the power because I think cloning might take a little bit of time. So I'm gonna do it with power. While the device is powering on, let me open the SSD. So yeah, it's a tiny one. I think this is the smallest one that is out there. Let me put this into the device. Just a second. So it goes like this, and it's attached, and then we can pull this tab over it, so it's now secure, and then we just put it back, I think like this, and we are good to go. So let me log in, and we are in. I usually use a software called Disk Genius to clone the hard disks, and we're gonna do the same on this. So let me attach the SSD to the device, and it is detected. So I already have Disk Genius installed, so let me run that. Apologies if the screen is not properly captured, guys. I will try my best, but I'm still learning, and screens are something that gives me nightmares, basically. But let me try to zoom in as much as possible. So here you see we have this PIBox, because it's in that PIBox enclosure. It's showing 1863 gigabytes. What we are looking for, however, is OS migration. The icon here nearby the backup partition, so we can click on that OS migration, and please select. It is asking please select the target disk, and this is showing up our disk as the target disk. We can select that and say OK. Now what we can do is the source disk is this one, the Windows, the built-in one, KBG50, that's 954 GB, and the target disk is this. Will I think be unallocated, that we can later on create a new partition on or something like that. So I think that's the settings. You have the source disk, that is the built-in SSD that is working, and the OS is residing on that one, and on the bottom you have the target disk that is in this enclosure right now. So let me click on start. So it's giving a warning that all files and partitions on target disk will be overwritten. Are you sure you want to migrate the system to the PIBox, the new SSD? And I'm hitting OK. What we can do is there are two things. You can do a hot migration, is basically when the PC is on and it will do a hot migration. However, for the safety sakes, I think it is better to do it into booting into Windows PE environment, and then let the Disk Genius clone it from there. So I'm gonna click on reboot to WinPE. And it's asking for a reboot, which is okay.